It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and today's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins, and it's all up next.
The summer humidity has given way to an absolutely gorgeous fall afternoon here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me as always, Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
The Florida Atlantic man, Greg Joseph, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Miami. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And bringing them out is a Pro Bowler back in the 2015 campaign. He's now approaching a decade in the league. Is Teddy Bridgewater.
I've always loved Teddy Bridgewater. A lot of people have underrated him throughout his career. Remember, this is a guy who's battled back from a horrendous knee injury to find his way back as a starter in this league. More than capable right arm, tremendous leader. This guy knows how to make plays in the clutch.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. A nice play design there with a touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
First carry for Raheem Mostert. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Bridgewater to throw it. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
First down, Bridgewater. Eluding the pressure right. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And now it's second down.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he'll get about 3 here up to the 44-yard line.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And the Vikings are going to beef up their secondary here. 6 DBs on 3rd. Here's Bridgewater. He is going to find Hill here. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28.
Well, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Here's Bridgewater. That's going to be caught by Waddle. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Back to the running game with Mostert. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. A run for the first time with Myles Gaskin. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. Throwing, Bridgewater. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
So on 4th down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Sanders is good. Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Vikings offense coming out for the first time, and in his 5th season leading this crew, coming off his 3rd career Pro Bowl nod, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is back for his 5th year as Minnesota's starter, tied for the longest streak of stability the team has had at quarterback since, get this, Fran Tarkenton in the late 1970s. He's been excellent during that time, making a second Pro Bowl last season after 4,200 yards and 33 touchdowns through the air. The Vikings, though, still hovering right around 500 at the 8-win mark, hoping to see him lead a talented roster back to the postseason.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
And that's complete to K.J. Osborne.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw complete there to Smith.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Well, the first drive here and the first time that we've called a big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the field. Now your wide receivers are getting involved as this game goes on.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the 1st.
Adam Thielen, a terrific wide receiver and synonymous with Minnesota football. You go back to high school, college ball in the state, and now his 9th season with the Minnesota Vikings. 10 touchdown catches last season, makes a nice catch there.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. A first carry for a Miami native. This is Dalvin Cook. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
From the 44, Cousins. It's caught. Smith.
And a tackle going to be made at the 38. Well, they clearly wanted to come out, Charles, and be aggressive throwing the football, and they've been pretty efficient along with that aggressiveness. He's now 4 of 4 on this opening drive.
Yeah, and that's led to a fresh set of downs. I like what he's doing back there. You can tell he's at ease, feels good about what he's doing. I think if I'm the play caller, I'm reading that, I'm continuing to let him throw the football.
Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Coming up on 2nd and 7.
Cousins to throw it. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense ball pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Cousins. Now he steps away, and he's left with no option here but to throw it away. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert, and I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Joseph's got it, and that will tie us at 3-3. So matching field goals on our opening 2 drives.
Yeah, it feels like 2 boxers feeling each other out here in the early going of the game, right? Exchanging some jabs, but none of the heavy stuff just yet.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. This taken in at the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So Miami coming out for their second drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Bridgewater on first down. And his throw is incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. To throw on 2nd and 10. Bridgewater on target over the middle to Hill. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A run with Mostert up the middle. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 5 now. Bridgewater. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Bridgewater. That's going to be caught downfield by Hill. It's a big play there for Miami. 48 yards.
I think we all understand his disappointment. Didn't quite get to the end zone, and you know it's just got to be tough to see a yard line underneath you after a play like that. Still, all in all, a huge play, and now they're set up 1st and goal at the 1.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Mostert is into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And it is up. And
That's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. So the drive there took 6 plays.
And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Raheem Mostert. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game.
Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Next, the receivers help spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They go play action. Cousins.
That's complete to Justin Jefferson.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Cousins in step with Jefferson that time. First down, Vikings.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Throwing, Cousins. Over the middle, complete. That's Osborne.
And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 38. Cousins gives way to Cook.
Down at the 35, it'll be 2nd down.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Cousins.
We're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted.
Nick Needham picks it off.
And the Dolphins are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports.
Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing is Bridgewater. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Well, after an interception, last thing you want to do is go 3 and out, give the ball right back. They avoided that.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to do that. I remember in college I played with a really big-time player on defense. We ended up getting an interception as we passed the offense coming out. He told him, if you don't take care of this football, you have to answer to me later. You definitely want to take care of it, pick up first downs.
On 1st down, they go with Mostert again. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. On 2nd down, Mostert. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Bridgewater. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And that is incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. He's got the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and this will remain a 1-touchdown game. So it's an empty trip downfield there as they get a missed field goal on 4th down.
And I didn't see anything in the setup. It's a good snap, good hold.
Yep.
He just pushed it, and that one never wanted to come back.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that worked. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
So after the missed long field goal attempt, this offense set up nicely at the 44-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Osborne. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. First down, here's the run with Cook. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. To throw is Cousins. And this one complete to Smith. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Here's Cousins. And he's got his tight end, that's Smith. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 31-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw, Cousins. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. It was Melvin Ingram that time who shot in to bring him down. And defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're not doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 35 yards. And the Vikings are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Greg Joseph on for the extra point. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece.
So that drive 7 plays in length.
And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception.
All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Throwing to start the drive, but that went incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mike Gesicki, but it's going to be second down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Bridgewater to throw it.
And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert.
They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. He is going to find Hill here. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
On the handoff, this is Mostert.
And he's got room. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
62 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you give a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. But how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
Now Waddle on the jet sweep.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
2nd and 10, we're all knotted up at 10, but it appears that may change soon. Only question is, will they have to settle for 3? They hand it off to Mostert.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown.
Raheem Mostert
with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Dolphins have broken our tie as they take the lead.
So 2 touchdowns for him on the ground in this first half, and that one a thing of beauty.
And just like his last touchdown run, we saw him be patient. How about his vision where he's able to identify where the opening was? And then how about the escort right down the field all the way to the end zone from his blockers?
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes it a 17-10 score. after the touchdown. Ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Kirk Cousins back out there for the next Viking possession. He had the short touchdown pass on their previous drive, and they'll begin again here on 1st and 10.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Cousins. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
The Vikings send out their punter. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And he'll get this away into the humid Florida sky.
Found good room to run there. Returns at 14 yards.
And it'll be Dolphin football.
Speedster Raheem Mostert and the rest of this offense out to start the drive.
He's in his own second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
90 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And some room to run now. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's two ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
Again, they'll run it with Mostert. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
So 2nd and 4 from the 22.
They'll try to throw here now. Bridgewater. Toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, Bridgewater.
Over the middle and complete to Waddle.
And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Facing a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 10.
Bridgewater.
Another catch there for Waddle.
And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here, and just load up for it and see what happens.
Here's Bridgewater.
And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Throwing, Bridgewater. And that's going to be incomplete.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
So they're coming up here on the 9th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and goal. To throw is Bridgewater. Now he'll escape to his right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
Nice call by the defense there on 3rd down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead.
So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away.
Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
And now out comes Minnesota.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now Cousins.
To the right side and complete to Jefferson.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
1st and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. To the air again, it's Cousins. Now they go screen, it's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. The Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Cousins now. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Nick Needham picks it off. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown.
An excellent play there, CD, on the pick 6. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick 6.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission.
"35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on 1st down. Back to it after the pick 6. Cousins. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, say it with me now. A lot of different words we come up with. Maybe we go back and forth after that play, getting his toes tapped down to make that catch. Crafty.
Yep.
Wiley. Oh, definitely.
All the veteran names.
You name it. Has every move in the book.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they will rally and stop him short of the 1st down. They get him to the ground at the 26. The Vikings send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the second time. Great coverage there, holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcoming everyone to our downtown Orlando studios and this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, let's run through the next-gen stats for the Vikings in that first half. And despite the fact that they're looking up at a double-digit deficit at halftime, they were able to move the football through the air in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. And the Vikings set to go on offense to begin the third quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got Smith here, and they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing is Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 23 yards, the final tally. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 39-yard line. They go play action. Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. And he's just short. He got 6 of the 7 he needed, so that leaves a decision here on 4th and a yard.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
They're going for it. Here's Madison. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the first down.
Now a give running right, it's Cook. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Second down, they go right back to Cook. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
The Dolphins do the job defensively there, and now it brings up 4th. Fourth down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph from Minnesota. The kick by Joseph is good, and that will close the gap down to 14. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
Joseph now to kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. Set to return. Here's Raheem Mostert. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. First down, Bridgewater. That's going to be caught by Waddle. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great work working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater. On the right side, open is Gesicki. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
To throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
On 3rd down, here comes Mostert. And now Mostert is going to be stopped up short. He did not get there. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. On 1st and 10, Cousins. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. He'll find Thielen work in the middle.
And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Cook up the gut. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Play fake. Cousins. Complete. Smith has it. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
The Vikings send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. He'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. So now here come the Dolphins.
This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Throw left side here, complete to the tight end, Gesicki. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Throwing again on second down. Bridgewater over the middle and complete to Waddle. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Now a give to Mostert running right. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. It was Harrison Smith there up from his safety spot to make the play behind the line.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. But the converse is, though, you've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Bridgewater now. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Bridgewater to throw it. And this one is incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings ready to go again on offense.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
Third quarter from Miami. This is 2nd and 10. To throw, Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Cousins. Adam Thielen, back-to-back catches. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
Behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 15. Now Cousins. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Cousins to throw it. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And out across midfield down to the 45. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
He stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. They'll try the middle with Cook. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 46 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
On play action, Cousins. This goes out wide from Madison. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, when the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing, Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Cousins. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
4th down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph for Minnesota. Joseph's got it, and that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s, and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
Joseph now to kick this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you know, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you got it going, and you also think, at any moment, I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead diminish anymore. An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock, and this is 2nd and less than a yard. Flush to his right, and he wisely will throw that one away.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Bridgewater. He is going to find Hill here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10.
Up the middle they go with Mostert.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations
where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this is incomplete. Oh, that looked like a sure 6 points, but he could not get that to stick, and that is a golden opportunity wasted there. Despite the lead here in the fourth, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all, and to me it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Play action now. Cousins. Open man once again. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line.
We just saw the dilemma for every coach. You want them to fight for the extra yardage, but somehow continue to cover the football. Oftentimes when you fight that hard, the ball becomes exposed.
Defensively, it's obvious they're trying to be more aggressive. First tackle a little too aggressive. Second one, though, they strip it loose. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they sit in a good spot, having the ball back after the fumble recovery and up 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's a handoff to Mostert running left. And some room to maneuver. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark it down at the 9. 165 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Well, Raheem Mostert, remember, he established himself as a special teams guy before becoming a good runner, and he's never been one to back away from contact as he's able to run through would-be tacklers there on his way downfield.
Yeah, in this part of the game, the fourth quarter, this is where a running back really has a chance to shine. This is what they've been training for, to take over the game down the stretch. The defense, it's been battered all game long. And here, this is just a case of a runner imposing his will and deciding he didn't want to be tackled right there.
Here's Mostert. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Once again, it's Mostert. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Raheem Mostert, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. This one now, Charles, you'd have to think all but over.
I would agree with that because this offensive line, they've been physical from the first snap of the game, and it's taken a toll on this defense. And it was never more evident than on that play right there. They continue to move the line of scrimmage forward, and they open up enough space there to get their guy into the end zone.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead is up to 18 now. after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Nwangu now from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. And now out comes Minnesota. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Cousins. Catch is made here by Irv Smith Jr. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one good for 26 and a first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
A first down throw for Cousins. Middle of the field to Jefferson. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution. Even though the scoreboard is going against you, you want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory right at the 40. Cousins. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 24-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Again, it's Cousins. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
And good yardage there on 1st down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively. Well, it could have gone for more.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, an 18-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25.
And here comes Raheem Mostert and the Miami offense.
I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now.
They'll start on the ground with Mostert.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
So fourth quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The Dolphins on third down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Zadarius Smith coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Zadarius Smith switched teams, but never left the NFC North, going from Green Bay to Minnesota in the offseason. Had a back injury in 2021, but 26 sacks in 2 seasons as a Packer prior to that.
Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field.
Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Cousins.
And this incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Cousins now. Open man is Thielen is complete.
And he will have a Vikings 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Cousins now from the 50. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 38-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing is Cousins. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire defense has to pay the price and try and rise up and overcome it.
Cousins throw complete there to Smith. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route.
Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the 4th. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. 3 yards to go on 2nd down, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. Jumbo set. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. A run with Mostert up the middle. And he'll have a Dolphins first down as he gets this up past the 30.
The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And we'll see if the defense wants to stop it as they take the knee.
Second and 11 now. They hand it off to Mostert.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Down to a knee goes Bridgewater, and that ought to do it.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road. But there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
A call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line.
What a performance. All those points put on the board. And, Charles, it wasn't just by the offense. The defense put some points on the board as well. They were solid today.
Yeah, it was a complete effort to secure the win, and both sides of the ball made big plays. But how demoralizing is it when the opposing defense can take one all the way back against you? And that was the case here. That really sparked them to victory.